I mean, I give A&M a lot of credit. They played an excellent football game tonight. Did all the things they needed to do to win the game. All the things we didn't do that you need to do to win football games, they were able to do. And so when you're on the road, you can't come in and play like we were playing. Execute the way we executed at times tonight, and expect to win. Did some good things. Got a lot of things we got to continue to work on. Got to clean up on. But it was pretty simple. They played better than we did tonight. And when that happens, they're going to win the football game.
Questions?
Dan, do you think Malik Dieter scores that 52-yard touchdown?
Yeah.
Was there an emphasis to get back to him, or what happened? He didn't get the ball again until the second.
At times he got banged up and he was out of the game for a little bit, and came back in. But no, we're just mixing it up, moving the ball different places, and he did a good job. We always think he's a pretty good player when the ball's in his hands. As a young player, still got a lot of growing to do, and he's going to continue to be a factor in our offense.
The 2 fumbles in the second half, how big were those in changing the momentum of the game?
I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You look at the plan to win. I mean, they won the special teams battle. I mean, you look at our punters. I mean, we don't punt the ball when we need a punt. We get 30-yard punts. I mean, their punters 50-yard average. We're 30-yard average right there. In the special teams, you look at turnovers. We're -2 in the turnover ratio. We get the ball down in the red zone and turn it over in the red zone. All the little things you have to do to win a game. We didn't do any of them tonight, and you're not going to win that way. It's just not going to happen. And give A&M credit because they did. Their punter did punt well. They didn't turn the ball over in the red zone. They've made some big plays down the field. Those little things are all huge factors. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's so many little things you can point at for us that it could have gone differently, but we didn't. It didn't, and that's the game of football.
How do you think the offensive line fared with their pass rush?
At times they did well. At times they did poorly. I mean, a couple of critical times we gave up some pressure, but they're an excellent. You're talking about some of the best defensive ends probably in America, if not the 2 best defensive ends in America. And I probably did some things, maybe not put us in the best situation, but we talked about that. I think we had a couple of situations of too many 3rd and longs, and now you're in a drop back game against the 2 best pass rushing DNs in America. It's not going to work out for you, and so.
Fred Ross has kind of emerged as Dak's favorite target this season. Why do you think that's happening? You just talked a little bit about Fred's progression.
Well, I think a lot of people are doubling Bear, you know what I mean, and leaving him one-on-one. He's getting a lot of single coverage, and he's taking advantage of it. The more he does that, the more he's going to get double coverage. So, I mean, he does. He's a great route runner, has great hands, finds a way, to get open and makes plays with the ball.
Dak carried the ball more tonight than he has all season. Was that just kind of the game plan going into this game?
Well, I mean, we wanted to run the ball going into this game because we didn't want to be in pass situations. We had 34 carries for 196 yards, and part of running the ball is him running the ball for us. Some of them are reads and option reads, and, they were putting the ball in his hands on a lot of those plays. So a lot of his runs, these wide open field runs, so I mean, those were the reads on the plays that they were just giving him. And so, it wasn't a design, the touchdown was a design quarterback run, but a lot of it was just option read plays that they gave him the ball.
I know it's been taped yet, but what did you see from the defense? I think they allowed more than 500 yards.
Yeah. I think the issue comes. At times, I thought in the second half, we came out and played a little better in the second half. Going into the game, we didn't want to, we let their quarterback start hot. One of the things you didn't want to do is let him, start with some quick throws and get in a rhythm, getting the ball to his playmakers. I think he started like 10 of 10 or 12 of 12 or something. He started really hot. And that was part of our plan. We didn't want to let him get into that rhythm early in the game. And we did. Give them credit. They did what they probably wanted to do in their plan to how to win the game. We didn't do what we wanted to do in our plan to win the game. And really, there's no surprise when that happens.
Do you have an update on the injuries, and how did that kind of affect your play calling
Well, I mean,
personnel?
like I said, I mean, like at one time Malik was out for a couple, like I called one or two plays to get him the ball, and all of a sudden, like, he's out. And so, you know, that kind of like gets you a little bit out of rhythm right there, or you just switch to a different play. But he was back in it later in the game. So overall, no, I mean, we'll get a report tomorrow when our guys check in with us tomorrow post-game. We, you know, see how once we get home and see how we do. But, you know, that's all part of the game.
How do you think Dak played? He seemed like it was maybe a little tight in the meeting, or was that just, did you see that?
No, I thought he played well. I think he did miss a couple throws. A couple of times he was high over the middle. But again, I mean, you're playing a really good pass rush like that. You know, I mean, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? And you know, they were. I thought they did a much better job affecting the pocket maybe than we did at times. You know, their quarterback's able to set his feet, get into that rhythm early in the game. You know, and you know, their front caused a lot of pressure. You know, caused pressure, which you know that wasn't going to be a surprise coming in.
Came in leading the SEC in third down. Opponents rate, they went 10 of 20. What was different tonight?
They made plays. I mean, you give them credit. They made some great catches. You know, they were catching the ball. Their kid ran around, made some throws, scrambled around, bought some time, made plays down the field. That's how it goes.
Did the officials give you an explanation on that call that was down at the end of the field? What did the officials have came off? I think it was the first quarter, and he stepped out of bounds. They might have reviewed it and said it was upheld. Was there an explanation to that?
Yeah, the review was whether he caught the ball.
Okay.
He came back in bounds. That's what we asked. You
Right.
know, I asked, did he come back in bounds? Hat came off.
Right.
The hat came off, and he was back in bounds. The flag didn't come out because it would have been a penalty. Once the hat came off, you'd know they had that aspect of the call. Right?
Okay.
So the review was whether or not it was a catch or not.
So they ruled that he was pushed out of bounds? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
and then came back in and established position in bounds and caught the ball. So they communicated that really well to us, so we knew the situation and what the review was about.
I think all 4 running backs got time out there tonight. It's kind of frustrating that nobody's kind of emerged this late into the season.
Yeah, well, not frustrating, no, because I didn't know. I thought coming into the season, I thought they all, you know, they all done well. You know, I'd love one guy to just go be way head and tails above everybody else, but I think they all played decently. You know, and like I said, I mean, the young guys, you know, we're getting into the season, and I know we got the two, you know, Duntavian and Arish are freshmen. I'd like to see them continue to play a little bit more and a little bit more at times as we move forward.
What was kind of the message to the team after the second SEC loss going forward?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of football left to be played. You know, like I said, I mean, this year in the league, it wouldn't shock me if the SEC champion went undefeated, and I told you it wouldn't shock me if they had 3 losses. So, you know, there's so much football to play. Like the margin from top to bottom in the West is so small. You know, I mean, there's a lot that can happen and a lot more going on down the road for us. And you know, I mean, 5 out of our last 7 games are home games. So, you know, we've hit this tough stretch. You know, a couple plays here or there could have gone differently for us. But finish 1 and 2, we'll take it out of that stretch. That is what it is, and you just move forward now and get ready for kind of the little next phase of the season. We've got 3 straight home games coming up, so this is going to be a really important stretch for us moving forward here to get the season where we need it to be.